In 1920, an actor named Lon Chaney had his own legs strapped behind him in a leather harness and spent an entire feature film walking on his knees. He was playing a crime lord with no legs, and the contortion caused him real, agonizing pain. And Chaney was the actor the entire industry would soon call the man of 1,000 faces, the silent screen's greatest chameleon. Long before prosthetics and computers, he made himself unrecognizable for every part, and his secret was that he rarely faked it. The film was The Penalty, released in 1920 by Goldwyn Pictures and directed by Wallace Worsley. It is one of the strangest American thrillers of the silent era, and it is the movie that turned Chaney from a working character actor into a star. Chaney plays Blizzard, a pitiless kingpin who rules the city's underworld from a hidden cellar. Blizzard has no legs. They were cut off when he was a boy, and the loss turned him into a genius of cruelty with a single obsession: revenge. As a child, Blizzard's legs were amputated by a young surgeon named Dr. Ferris, and Blizzard grew up convinced the operation was a crime. Everything he builds, every gangster who fears him, every scheme he runs, is pointed back at the man who took his legs. Blizzard's plan is surgical. Dr. Ferris has a daughter, Barbara, and Blizzard intends to take her legs in return. He does not want her dead. He wants the doctor to know exactly what was done to him, done to someone the doctor loves. To get close, Blizzard hides his identity and moves into Barbara's world, where she works as a sculptor. He becomes her patron, and even her model, charming the very people he plans to destroy, while an undercover man slips into his gang to bring him down. None of it works without Chaney's body. To play a double amputee, he built a harness that strapped his lower legs up behind his thighs, patted his knees, and walked the entire role on his kneecaps, climbing stairs, lunging at victims, never once breaking the illusion. It was brutal. The harness was agonizing, his muscles cramped and burned, and after long shooting days, he could barely straighten up. Chaney wore it for the entire production anyway, because to him, the pain was simply part of the job. This was Chaney's gift and his obsession. He was famous for studying how a body that was broken or different actually moved, then rebuilding his own to match it. Audiences left theaters genuinely unsure whether the man on screen was truly disabled or whether it was a trick of the camera. And the film around him is wild. The Penalty gives you an underground lair, a criminal army, a revenge plot built around amputation, and a villain who is simultaneously terrifying and pitiable. For 1920, this was explosively dark material. The Penalty was a hit. It proved Chaney could carry a picture on the strength of a transformation alone, and within a few years, he was one of the biggest draws in all of silent cinema, headlining The Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Phantom of the Opera on the exact same principle: hide the man, show the monster. The film's sharpest cut is its ending. The story pulls back the curtain on whether Blizzard's legs ever needed to be taken at all, forcing the audience to sit with the idea that an entire life of evil was built on one doctor's mistake. The villain is not the monster. The villain is the error. The Penalty has been in the public domain for decades, like nearly every American silent film, because its copyright expired long ago. You can watch the whole thing, free and legal, on the Internet Archive right now, more than a century after it first reached theaters. Lon Chaney broke his own body to make you believe in a man with no legs, and the result is still disturbing 100 years later. Follow The Real Vault, because the next film we crack open might be even stranger than this one.